All right, sweet. Yes, guys, pen and papers at the ready. Today we're going to talk about auto-regulation and the role of biofeedback towards adjusting your training at the appropriate times. So first of all, what is auto-regulation? Well, basically it comes down to listening to your body and understanding how you're feeling. Not just looking at the data that's written down on paper, but truly being in touch with how your body feels and making the appropriate changes to your training structure in accordance with that. Data also helps if we're tracking things like our sleep quality, if we're tracking things like our mood, our energy, all these sorts of things do contribute to us having the necessary data to make adjustments where appropriate. But principally it comes down to really assessing how you feel. Because look, let's face it, even the most elite training programs will need adjustments at time to time. And a program is great, but it can't override the realities of life. There are going to be weeks where you feel awesome and the program is absolutely perfect. And there are going to be those weeks where things just don't align, stress is high, sleep is poor, fatigue accumulates, and you're going to need to make some adjustments to the program. So why exactly does auto-regulation matter? Well, we all know that training smart and not just training hard is essential towards optimizing your progress. And so auto-regulation protects you from two main issues. Number one, pushing too hard when you are under-recovered. And number two, coasting when you're actually primed to make big leaps in progression. And so over time, learning to read your own data to understand your feelings can really differentiate you from an average lifter to an exceptional one. So there are 7 primary biofeedback markers that are crucial to address. And you can use these markers to gauge just how well you are positioned to train effectively. Firstly, sleep quality. Now, if you're low on sleep, your nervous system functioning, your ability to actually recruit motor units, your energy and focus in the gym are all going to suffer. Then we've got appetite and digestion. If you're bloated or have a loss of appetite, it can indicate excessive fatigue, stress, or simply poor recovery. Libido, so overlooked. I believe firmly that low libido is a major indicator of fatigue and overtraining. Low libido is one of the first signs of systemic fatigue. Resting heart rate, if it's positioned higher than what you're normally accustomed to, again, it's a major signal for overtraining. And of course, incomplete recovery that comes with that. Mood and motivation. If you're twiddling your thumbs, sat in the car park, waiting to get into the gym, not really interested in getting to the gym at all, these are again signs of overtraining and accumulated fatigue. Joint soreness and inflammation. Again, pay attention to these signals. Don't just power through because they're typically a sign of repetitive stress. And then your energy whilst you're actually warming up. If it's low, it's usually a sign that your training volume or maybe even the intensity needs to drop back a little bit. So then the question begs, how do we adjust in accordance to these biofeedback markers? And there are 2 directions that we can typically go. Option 1 is obviously to down-regulate when we can see that recovery is poor. And so if you score low across all the markers that we just went through, your sleep, your digestion, your mood, your sex drive, and so on and so forth, there's a few things we can do right off the bat. We can start by reducing our top set intensity by bringing it down by 1 or 2 reps. Just leaving a couple of reps in reserve will really help you recover some of that fatigue that's accumulated. Another thing we can do to reduce our total volume is to trim a set from each of our exercises. If you were doing 4, bring it down to 3, and again, give your body that little bit more of a chance to recover. We can also swap those heavy compounds, free weight movements, to machine derivatives. Generally speaking, this is going to impose less joint stress and require less mental focus to execute in a safe manner. You can extend your rest periods, literally just by 20 or 30% will make a huge difference with your readiness going into sets and keep that serum oxygen count in your blood at a decent level throughout your training session without pushing too deep into a deficit. Another thing you can do is take the focus away from load progression and just focus on technique. Yes, it might mean that you're reducing the load somewhat, but it just takes the emphasis away and makes you feel like you're still progressing, even when you're not well positioned to push new weight. And then of course, option 2 is to actually go harder when readiness is high. So when your readiness is high and you feel supercharged going into a session, this isn't an opportunity to just throw everything in the kitchen sink at your training session, but you might choose to add a top set to your exercises. This means picking a target set in which you push for new reps or new load and set a new score on the board. You might opt to use more advanced techniques like drop sets or supersets, or one of my personal favorites, rest pause sets. And then across the board, you might opt to use slightly greater weight, proviso of course being that your execution is absolutely locked in. The third option, which is highly specific to an individual muscle group or joint, if you have a specific ache, pain, area of inflammation, a body part or a movement that isn't feeling good, you can swap that movement that's causing you grief for a safer option. For instance, swapping barbell or dumbbell derivatives with machine versions. Another good one might be to actually replace movements where there is a high dependence on trunk stability, like a bent over row, with chest supported options. You can opt to use bands or cables which have more preferential strength profiles, where the stress is taken away at those particular points in the lift where you're experiencing the most pain or discomfort. So in terms of putting a strategy forward, I like to do it on a weekly basis, and I kind kind of tie it into my check-ins. So at the end of each week, ask yourself this question: did I progress load or repetitions throughout the last week? Did I feel progressively more fatigued, or was my energy actually stable? Did I sleep and recover well, or was I run down? Was the external stress coming in from other areas like work stress or social stress or relationship stress that was impeding on my ability to recover or be fully present during the training sessions? And just asking these questions forces you to really consider how well you're recovering and how appropriate your output was in accordance to how you were feeling. So look, I guess auto-regulation is really just about playing the long game. It's about understanding how you feel and tailoring your program to exactly what your energy levels, mood, and physical readiness determine is the most appropriate on any given day. It's not a cop-out. It doesn't mean that you can skip sessions or give yourself an inch every second day, but it's a discipline which helps you train with precision, but also it will improve your longevity. So when we combine it with progressive overload and ideal execution, we can see how auto-regulation forms part of this formula towards elite progression. Yes, guys, look, now everything I teach in these lesson videos is all about creating men who step into their highest version of themselves, who operate from the highest standards. It's not just about physique transformation, it's about transforming the identity to someone who operates from a place of strength across the board. So if you're watching this and you want to go beyond learning and start doing today to step into that man who's operating with clarity, with strength, with clear direction, to step into that new identity, then you've got two clear paths. Number one, you can join Titan Shift, my private group coaching experience where you can get access to done-for-you training programs, nutrition structures, education in accountability, supplementation, nutrition, training, as well as the 120-day total mindset rewiring module. You'll also get access to 2 weekly Zoom calls with myself and the group. And in here we look at accountability, the Monday momentum session, and the Friday deep dive mastermind session, and of course Q&A as well. It's a brilliant community, a great place for you to totally transform your physique, rewire your mindset, and join a brotherhood of men looking to level up across all domains in life. Or if you're looking for a fully personalized experience, you can join the Titanium transformation program. That is my one-to-one private mentorship in which you'll undergo the full identity shift and physical transformation program working with myself as your coach. Here you'll get bespoke training structure, bespoke nutrition, education throughout, support and guidance, and of course access to my world-class modules to help you become the man that you were meant to be. This is one-to-one high-level coaching, giving you everything you need, built around your life and your goals, and giving you everything you need to live up to your fullest potential. So hit the description to learn more, or you can DM me either Titanium or Shift on Instagram. We can have a conversation and get you set up on the next step of your transformation journey.